I'm so glad that all of you have joined us here. If you have any questions or comments, we'll get into what we're talking about in a minute. We have the Q&A at the bottom, so any questions you want to ask, please do it as we go along, and I'll bring them into the conversation as we're talking about them. Also, if there's anyone watching who's delivered what we're going to be talking about today and has shared this, I want you to share maybe some experience or something you've seen that's been pretty amazing for you. And we'd love to share that as well with our audience that's watching. This achievement that we're talking about today is a great milestone. And I don't want to give away all the fun and bells and whistles because Cosimo will be sharing this with us. But we've done lots of great things with Food Heroes. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard Food Heroes. If you've been at Congress, you've seen Cosimo and I talking about it. If you've looked online, you've seen it. If you've hopefully delivered it, you know what it's about. But we've hit an amazing milestone and they're looking to further it a little bit more. But we wanted to really celebrate what we've done so far. So joining us today is, as I said, is Cosimo, the head of the Electrolux Food Foundation. And he's going to reflect and we're going to chat a little bit about what's happened so far with Food Heroes. And between us and you at home watching, we're going to try and figure out how to shape and get a more sustainable future by you impacting what happens. So before we get into that, I want you to know who my friend Cosimo is. We've traveled a bit together. We've chatted a bit together. He is a fabulous human being and has done lots to shape what we're doing. Cosimo, tell everyone a little bit about you, sort of with respect to the Electrolux Food Foundation and sort of what they support. And then we'll get into what we're talking about today.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Shona. A great introduction. I mean, I cannot ask for a better one, of course. But thank you, and hi, everyone. Of course, it's great to be here. For me, it's like it feels like being home. I had several chances to connect with World Chefs members around the world. I was present at 2 congresses. Soon it's going to be 3, and we will tell more about that later. But I always feel home when I connect with this audience. So thank you for inviting me. And of course, it also feels home because we've been collaborating on several initiatives for a number of years now. I think it's like 10 already, so a decade of collaboration. So since the very beginning, since the very beginning of the Electrolux Food Foundation, we've been partnering with World Chefs and chefs around the world to even build what the foundation is today and what the mission of the foundation and the purpose of our common initiatives is. So the foundation, as you might know, is the non-profit organization of Electrolux Group, and it's part of the Feed the Planet partnership together with World Chefs and IASEC, and Griffith. So this is the group of visionary organizations that back then created this idea, this partnership to give shape to initiatives that would inspire people, educate people to adopt more sustainable food habits. And then, Food Heroes is one of them. We understood and discussed back then that in order to promote the transition to sustainable food systems, we needed to have the new generation, the young generation, on board with us in making the right choices. And this 1-hour workshop is exactly built with this purpose to train the new generation and deliver the mission of the Food Foundation and Feed the Planet by inspiring young kids to eat sustainably, cook sustainably, and just like fall in love with food in general.
Oh, my favorite. Okay, well, you're speaking to the right group, right? So we've got chefs all over the world. It's lovely to see. I mean, I do love this time of the month where we have people from Myanmar and Egypt and London and somewhere out in Fort Erie, not far from me, all at home watching. And I mean, these are a lot of big ideas, and it seems like a lot. Let's show sort of where people can sign in and how to get into this. So if you haven't done this before, this is our website on the World Chefs page. You can access all of the content there, right? Cosimo, we can get in there. You can see what it's about as you scroll through. This is just sort of happening from World Chef's office. Thank you, Isla, for supporting us, of course. And we have how to register your workshop. So it's so simple. It cannot be more simple. You just need to go to Feed the Planet or Food Heroes World Chefs. Any of the words you can remember will take you to this page. It's been made really simple. So you register your workshop and you say, I'm going to do this. I've decided I'm going to do this, right? And then you download the toolkit. And how long does it take to deliver, Cosimo? Like really an hour?
I would say 50 minutes to 1 hour, depending
Yeah.
on how quick is the discussion. But yeah,
Yeah.
not more than 1 hour usually.
So we've had deliverables from, so people who have done it. So World Chefs have done it in some part. Electrolux has done it in a lot of part. Who else is delivering this
Well, we
workshop?
have one of the partners of Feed the Planet called IASEC. It's an organization made of university students. They're present basically in every country around the world and territories. So their volunteers also deliver this in around 40 countries every year. So when it comes to maybe a geographical presence of this initiative,
Yes.
I can say, 100% that we've been in every continent, almost 50 countries around the world. Wherever we found young volunteers or chefs or culinary professionals willing to bring this to their communities, then we went there and delivered.
That's great. I mean, we have chefs doing it. And as a Feed the Planet chair, I looked at the numbers and I said, oh my gosh, you want to share first how many we've done to date? And then we can get to sort of the nitty gritty of things.
Well,
Cosimo, how many?
the thing is that we've delivered this in many countries, and of course the big celebration and milestone that we achieved at the end of last year is to educate 300,000 young kids on sustainable eating and cooking, basically. And that was a goal that when we started creating this initiative with World Chefs in 2016, we aimed to achieve by 2030. So
Mm-hmm.
achieving these 5 years in advance was, of course, a big reason to celebrate, but
Yes.
also a sign that this is a topic that is highly interesting and impactful in local communities. Young generations want to know more about where food comes from, how it's produced, how it's cooked in a sustainable way, what's the benefit for the human body, what's in there for their own health. All of these
Yeah.
things are very interesting to young people and kids. And there's a great appetite and knowledge appetite
Yeah.
about this from these groups.
Yeah, because they're at the age, it's like 7 to 11, roughly, right? We're going for
Yes.
that age group. And this is where, if anyone has kids in their circle or they have nieces, nephews, sons, daughters, friends with kids, you know that this is the time they start taking autonomy and they start deciding their food choices themselves. So it was targeted to say, once they start deciding what their food choices are, let's help them make better choices. And that will impact not only them, but at home, have those conversations with their parents, start changing what they put in their lunches, how they're making meals together. Like it is a trickle down effect. And so from where we sit, I mean, we can show some great pieces of what some of the chefs and people have done around the world globally. We have chefs who are delivering this. Now, we didn't have a lot of world chefs doing it in 2024. So our Feed the Planet committee committed to doubling the numbers that we had done. I know we're at 300,000, but we only had 200 children in 2024 taught this workshop by World Chefs. So, I mean, chefs are busy, and I get it. Everybody's busy. We all have a lot to do. But if we can show one or two of the pictures of chefs doing it, then we can also say you don't have to do 300 children in one shot. Like, what was it you did in Sri Lanka? How many young people did you educate there?
2,700 in half a day. Yes, that was a big activation.
2,700. So that makes me totally anxious and know that I can't get to that. But let's look at it in real terms. If every chef that's watching and anyone who's at home has a circle of 8 to 10 young people, it could be friends, kids, a small class, and if everybody committed, let's say that 1 hour, right? 1 hour in 1 year. So I'm not looking, I was going to math out how many hours there are in a year. I'll get somebody smart online watching to do that for me. And so if we took 1 hour out of the whole year, that small percentage of time, and the toolkit is there, like it has the lesson plan, what to do. You don't have to bring anything with you except your enthusiasm and passion for food, right? Like you don't have to do 2,700 young people. That is phenomenal. Like that's a dream for me. But if
Exactly.
we all did 10, would we be able to reach, like, what's our next goals? Where, how would that help? Would that move the needle enough? Is that enough to do you think?
Well, first of all, let me say every contribution, little or big, help us achieve the next goal in this case. Because of course, there's a numeric goal, which is the new one that we have announced in the beginning of this year to educate 1 million people, young people, on sustainable eating and cooking, and that's a huge number, of course. But we cannot forget what's the main purpose of us doing this, which is promote this transition to more sustainable food habits. So if it's one person, if it's 10 people, or 1 million, or even more, the whole society needs to move as one towards this transition. So whatever contribution is a step in the right direction. I want this to be very clear. So even if you might think, oh, but a group of 5 will not be so relevant towards the 1 million goal. No, in that community, in that specific reality, those 5 people being more conscious about their food choices might promote change and be multipliers of this knowledge within their communities, within their circle of friends or families or whatever. So every little contribution counts. And as you said, it doesn't require too much time. It's basically 1 hour, maybe, I don't know, another hour for just preparing, taking a look at the content before
Yeah.
delivering. It has no cost because it's a PowerPoint presentation. It doesn't really require practical parts, so there's no need for a kitchen or food to be purchased. You might want to add this to make it more interesting, but it doesn't require this. So it's just slides and information that you can show kids. And also, we made it as easy as possible to spread it globally.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you click on the buttons that Ayla was showing you on
Yes.
WordChef's website, it will bring you to the place where you can download this toolkit, this
Yeah.
presentation. And at this point, we have it in 17 different languages. So
Wow. I didn't
we
realize it was
cover
that.
lots of, countries. And if
Yeah.
your language is not present in this list that we have, you're free to download the English one or whatever other language you feel comfortable with. Translate it if you have time. And that's also another big contribution you can give to the
Right.
growth of
What a
this
great
program
idea.
and
Yeah.
collaboration. You can translate the slides, send them back to us, and we will make sure to put this content on the website for more
Oh,
chefs
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
be able to access this content.
What a great way to give back if you're not able to, because sometimes in some places it's hard to get into schools or to get um, to delivering this with young people because you have to get through the obstacles of safety of the children, and totally understandable. But to get over that sort of some of those hurdles, the language piece I hadn't even thought about. I didn't know it was in 17 different languages. That's fabulous. One of my former students actually is on, and they have calculated for us 8,760 hours in
Okay,
a year.
great.
So I will hold on to that number. Thank you, Dwayne. We will think of that. So if you take 1 hour out of, or say 2 hours, even one for preparation and getting there and all those kind of things, and delivering in 50 minutes, you are making a huge impact. You want to think about, why should I do it, right? So at some point, everybody was inspired by someone to get into food. What if that person is you or I? Like, to think about food in new ways. Like sometimes food at home is just sustenance and it's just a way you're just getting meals. But what if you can think of it as a way to make it more healthful, to be better for the planet? Like, young people and people in general, as I'm in education, I see they want to make a change. They want to make a difference. And I can only imagine at that age as well, they also want to make a change and have impact on things. And it gives them a sense of ownership, and it gives them a sense of like change and empowerment, right? Like, I think that's a fabulous thing to do. Like, it's valuable if we think of because we're speaking sort of to World Chef's office or World Chef's members. We're speaking to, we've probably got some Electrolux fans watching as well. We've got Isaac on watching us, and people in general watching this webcast about how to give back and how to do this. Why do it? If you think about it from sort of the executive chef position, this is doing what for them? Why would an executive chef in a big place want to do this, do you think, Cosimo? How would it benefit them?
I would speak about the experience that other people had delivering this and the reasons, why they thought this was a nice thing to get involved into. First of all, it's an opportunity to connect with your local reality, with your local community. You may reach out to schools or NGOs that work with kids, or even just connect with, kids that you have around your circle of people. And then it's important from a chef perspective to understand, first of all, how the new generation is knowledgeable about food. And I can say that it's probably equally split between kids that are completely disconnected from the food sector or the food journey. They don't know where
Yeah.
food comes from. They don't even question this. Food is something that they find at home, ready to be eaten.
Yes.
Just satisfy a needs that they have to get fed, and then you go to the next activity. But there is also a growing portion of this young generation that is, of course, worried with where the world is going, especially when it comes to global warming, climate change, and everything. And it's it's very common, a sense of young people feel helpless. They don't know how they can contribute to, in a more drastic way, in a more concrete way, to help
Yeah.
solve these problems. With the Food Heroes content, we give them this new perspective through
Yeah.
which they can, deciding what to eat 3 times a day, they have 3 chances every day, literally, to be part of the solution to climate change and global warming, rather than adding more pressure on the environment. So, what we do with this content is just providing them with all the knowledge that they need to make conscious food choices. And I want to be clear here, it's not that we go to kids with content that sound like you should not eat meat at all, meat is completely
None of
bad,
us.
vegan
Yes.
is the only sustainable option. That's not the point. We know that food systems are very complex, and in each local reality, sustainable food has a different declination. So we just want kids to understand how important it is what they decide to eat, and they need to be aware of how the food journey happens around them in their local reality and make conscious choices based on that. The whole initiative is called Food Heroes because we want
Yes.
them to feel empowered to take the lead on this change. And then again, going back to what you asked before, what's in there for chefs? Those young kids will be the customers of tomorrow if they are conscious of the value of food, of flavors, local sources, how food is produced sustainably, and flavors and diversity in their diets. This plays in favor of like them putting uh, the food professionals at the center of their choices to get inspiration from, to be their allies in this journey to make the future world more sustainable. It
Yeah.
is a unique opportunity for chefs to be, in close collaboration with young generations and help, promote this change. We need to preserve, the importance of food in the human experience. And if we fail to educate, inspire a whole generation, then it would
Yeah.
be even more difficult to restore this in the future.
Absolutely. I mean, it strengthens that chef's, sort of professional profile as well. It shows like leadership and engagement in the community. That employer, the employer of wherever the chef is in many places, their reputation elevates as well, right? Thinking about them giving back and volunteering. Young chefs as well, they think they don't have anything to say, or maybe the content is over their head. And this isn't true because Isaac is young professionals as well that are in university, in around the same age as a young chef would be. The content is not complex. They are not debunking how to change climate change and what, like all kinds of, it is talking about three simple things, right? Uh, Help me
Eat
out here.
more
We're
plants.
more plants.
waste less food, and try new
and
things.
and try new things, right? So those three, I do know them, I promise. Sometimes the morning brain doesn't always work as well as it
That's
should.
fine.
So, but eating more plants, and this, like you said, it's never about becoming, swaying one way or to the other as far as your diet, but just engaging in more on your plate, like you would for, if you see in Canada, we have that healthy plate, and they have it all over the world where half of it's vegetables,
Yeah.
right? Not everybody can access this. I know that, right? There's places in the world where you can't, but to whatever your region is, you're going to try more things. You're not going to just eat the same thing every day, and you're going to waste less food. And sometimes wasting less food is not something that people do either, but
Yes.
making young people aware of this is going to help them change what's at home. So once chefs have done this, or anyone has done this, then they bring this information back to World Chefs and share it back through the same portal. And they say, I've done my due diligence. Here's some great photos of what I've done. Or if they can, remember not to show kids' faces if they don't have, direct consent. We always make sure we're careful of that. But we want to make sure that you're sharing this back. And then also from the World Chef's office, they'll make sure that you get a digital badge that you can share on your LinkedIn, your CV, anywhere that you wanted to. I mean, it's a great social media spotlight, both for all of us lifting up young people and for that chef too. Look at what you're doing. Like, I mean, it's not, that song and dance show I talk about, but you want to showcase what you've done and who you are and how you're giving back to the community. What a great way. And investing that, I like to think of it as 1 hour. I know we're going to say 2, but I like to think of it as 1 hour because it's the other parts you can do sort of on your own, right? Like you can get ready for it in between things, and you can find that instead of, doing mundane, whatever other things your day would entail, look through the workshop and see what is to offer. We have some photos that we wanted to share of some of the other chefs that have done some of this magnificent work regarding content. I think we need to make 2 versions. First delivery, this is someone I'm reading online, and the second time to deliver to ensure communication is line with each phase. So they're looking at, someone has mentioned, thank you, Kareem. We'll answer that live, that they'd like to have a second level of this deliverable, because once you look at this, fabulous, I love it. And it doesn't have to be this hands-on-y, but I love that it is. When I delivered this the last time, I brought spatulas for all the kids, and I told them they're all worth $1 million. And they were like, what? I'm like, well, if you think of every time someone using a spatula in a jar, making sure they don't waste food, you would add up to probably $1 million very easily in any place and home in a community, right? So they're like, oh, so they brought their $1 million spatulas home, right? There was no food, there was no anything, but it could be anything. This is fabulous. This is in the Philippines. Adelina, she's there delivering it to young children. I think she went into a local school and did this. And there's Badia, one of our committee members. She's done it several times. Such a bright spark. And it's small groups sometimes, right? You can bring into your space, or you could go to theirs. You can do it in the middle of the grass if you want to. It doesn't matter where you sit with them. It can be in your living room. This is in Jordan, I believe. They're doing it there, and they made little badges for them. You can do certificates if you want. You can be as creative with this as you want. This is delivering it in, I think, Spanish. I'm not going to lie. But they're delivering it here, and the kids are in maybe the space that the chef is working in, and they've come to there for an hour or so. Teachers do love this. Like, they really do love this as part of their curriculum, right? Like, to go into a school and say, I'm going to, talk with your kids for an hour and teach them a little bit about something. They can come back to this and do more with their curriculum in it later, I guess, right? Cosimo? It would be an easy share.
Definitely. I mean, this is the first step into this journey for them. Of course, we hope that kids get inspired and then they would like to know more about food and sustainability. We have developed also some video cooking lessons, where they can also learn how to cook sustainable and zero waste recipes. It's something that we can also share in the future. So ideally we see this as the beginning of a journey. We want these young kids to be on board with us into changing things for the better. So
Mhm.
everything is thought as and planned as a first touch point. You know, the content, when you will see it, it's an introduction on the concept of sustainability and food, and how the two things are related, and what kind of like easy first steps kids can take to be the heroes that will save the world basically
Huh.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, it's as you said, it's being developed for kids aged between 7 and 11 years old. So the language is not super complex, and also it's not like super structured informations. But it's what they need to get this first step, to get closer to the food journey, understand what's there for them, and then hopefully, you know, get passionate about it. And maybe, you know,
Yeah.
we will see out of this 300,000 that we involved until now, hopefully several thousands of people will then start a career in the culinary industry.
That would be fabulous. We are in need of passionate people in our industry. That is always a need. And people who love food, they are my favorite people. So that is developing a whole new generation of people who know and understand food and bring it forward in a meaningful way, right?
Yes.
So how could we ask chefs? So maybe there's people who are watching and they're saying, what can I do? How can I share this? Should we tell them to bring it up at their work, or put it into their LinkedIn message, or bring it up at a association or a conference? Can we do all of these things? Like, are these doable ways to share, you think?
Yes, yes. I mean, of course, we have like more direct experience with, for example, Electrolux employees when they bring this to their communities. What they usually do is that they go to their kids' schools, they speak with their kids' teachers and say, look, we have this fun 1 hour workshop. Can I come to school on one day for 50 minutes and then use that time to teach kids about food and sustainability? And that's the most immediate way that they have to reach a group of kids, but
Yeah.
literally can be like your kids friends, you know, group of friends, 5 6 kids. It can be your neighborhood association. It can be your kids sports team, you know,
Yeah.
anything that give you the chance to speak to a group of
Young
young
people. Yeah.
people in this audience. That would work. You know, you can just download the content, get an idea of what it is, and then just think, okay, this is a group of kids that I can deliver this in a very easy way because I have connection with that. And that's completely okay. You can just decide based on what your experience and local reality is.
Yeah, I mean, we've got people watching from all over. And my ask to them is, has anyone that's watching delivered this? Because I mean, Cosimo and I have both delivered in different ways in different parts of the world and different numbers for sure. I've done a max of, I think, 25. You've done over 2,500 at once. So, but if there is anyone who wanted to share, we'd love to hear from it. But I wanted to think, how many chefs do you think would be willing to deliver? And I mean, if we think about that 1 hour and that 8,760 hours in a year, because I want to hold on to that number. And I know it seems silly, but a lot of us work in very tactile terms. And for me, that's a visual. So if I think of that one small hour out of my whole year,
Mhm.
the target is to find the young people. So, like you said, how do I do this first? First, download, I guess, the toolkit and look at it and say, can I deliver this? And you don't have to do it alone. Like find a friend.
Yeah, even
That's
group of 3 4, that's
yeah,
completely fine.
get comfortable, because I did it with another chef educator and three young chefs with me, because they're a little bit more connected to the young people and they felt a little bit more, a little calmer with them. And then we had a teacher in the class as well to manage anything that needed to happen for going to the bathroom and such, so that you don't think about those things. And so make it so that you understand what the deliverable is. Then decide, who do I know, right? Find a way in. Either, if like me, I don't have kids, but I have friends who have lots of kids in that age group. So I'm going to say, can I come to your, here in Canada, can I come to your hockey team's event and talk to them for 50 minutes? We can do it on the ice. We can do it anywhere. I'll stand on skates and tell them, right? But coming in your chef whites, I mean, I love that you guys have some Food Hero shirts, but coming in your chef whites really sets a presence for these young kids. They get really excited. They're like, it's a chef, like a chef, right? And you want them to be excited about this. And 50 minutes flies by so fast, right? And then you have all these great give backs. You have, and please share it back with World Chefs that you have delivered it, because tracking these numbers, it's not anything more than us saying, look how great we've done together. And it's a group thing. It's all of us together doing something fabulous. And I think if we all share a part of it, and Isla sharing, of course, in the Feed the Planet again and again, how to find it very easily. But if you remember Food Heroes, you're going to be able to find it really easily. You can tag it, you can post it. Photos are not essential, but it's a lovely share for you, for your company, for what we're doing, and it really engages what other people are doing. So, what is your piece of inspiration to share today, Cosimo? I know I'm putting you on the spot because it's a good day for you, maybe almost lunchtime-ish.
No, lunchtime is behind us. No, but I think it's we wanted to have this conversation with chefs because I know, I mean, who is more passionate than you about food? So there's definitely an immediate connection between the content of Food Heroes and the things that we want the young generations to learn. And you know, I also think that we bring numbers and different languages, and you see the audience here. It's beautiful because they're connecting from so many different countries and realities, and this is the essence of the partnerships that we have within this Feed the Planet you know, umbrella. This is a movement. We are here because we share the same purpose, the same vision, that if we don't act now, if we don't do our part, small or big, we will not have a world that will sustain to feed everyone on the planet. So this is the most urgent thing. Things are already not looking good today, but the price of inaction, it's even bigger because it could be worse tomorrow. Well, we do have a tool here. It's very easy and engaging and allow us to, you know, bring hope again, help build a future that is more sustainable, more fair, more just to everyone. So we really want you to be on board with us. This is a movement, hopefully. This is a collective effort. We are together in this, and we really hope that we will see the results of this enthusiasm that we've been seeing behind the scenes, you know, when we deliver this content everywhere. So please count on us, reach out to us, you know, be the person that just connects and ask questions and do things, because this is how this should be done.
Absolutely. I couldn't say it better myself, Cosimo. I want to say thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you, Cosimo, on stage. And we'll be talking to everyone, hopefully, who's here watching about some of the amazing things we've done over the last year at the Congress in Newport, Wales in May of this year. It's going to be a great program. We'll have lots of new things to share and exciting new pieces to talk about. And I invite you all to become a Food Hero ambassador, deliver, because a future of food isn't just shaped by our kitchens, it's shaped by our classrooms and by our next people coming as well. So thank you all and have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Cosimo, so much for joining me today. And we'll
Thanks
talk to you